Okay. Please recite with me. Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Airyanam, Namo Uvajjayanam, Namo Loe Savasahunam, Aso Panchanamo Yaro, Sava Pavapanasano, Mangalanam cha Savesim, Padmam Havai Mangalam. Jai Jinen bachon, how are you today?
Yes, Neil, I'm good.
Good. How about you, Sarthak?
Good.
Okay. Do you know what date is today?
It's a Republic Day of India.
I asked you date and you said what I was going to ask you next. So what's the
Oh,
date?
26th
26th of what?
January.
January.
Right. And 26th of January is Republic Day of India. So what do you think? What happened this day? What's the historical significance of this date for Indians? Republic Day, of course. So what is Republic Day?
The end of independence.
No, that's not the date when
Oh
India.
no. It was the day the Constitution was written.
The constitution was adopted, not written, है ना? Because the writing process or the drafting process, probably a better term, took good 3 to 4 years and a lot of deliberations. So India got its independence on 15th August 1947, and then from that day until 26th January 1950, India was in a interregnum, like a state of where there was an interim government, and then it was still running as per the British, India uh, policies and laws, right? So it was on sometime in the year of 1949, late November, is when the drafting of the constitution was complete. It was signed off by the Constituent Assembly, which was made up of lot many members from different parts of country representing different demographics and interest groups. And then finally, that constitution was adopted on 26 January 1950. So that was the date when India actually became a republic, right? A democratic republic, to be more precise. So let's watch a quick video on that. The first one, and that would be, it's self-explanatory. You are grown-up kids, you know about the concepts. What is democracy? What is a republic? And so on and so forth. So this would be a cakewalk for you. But let me play that video. It's a short video, and then we'll go from there. Okay? Let me share my Google Chrome. Okay. Mhm. Wait a sec. Let me first get it in theater mode so I can move around and the mind.
Oh, I don't hear anything.
Yeah, me as well.
Okay, guys, what happened? You are not able to hear?
No.
Then you should have said that you're not
I
able
think
to
I
hear.
put it in the chat, but I
I
don't.
know, but you didn't say, right? I'll have to replay it. Okay, no worries. Yeah, wait a sec.
Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection. You could be punished for expressing and celebrating your love towards your country. But that doesn't seem surprising when a foreign government rules over our country, isn't it? Indians had to fight hard for their freedom and rights. And this struggle ended in 1947 when India got independence. A new government led by Indians took over. But how could Indians have ensured that future governments don't limit the rights and freedoms of the people? By forming a democratic republic. But what does that mean? A democracy is a system of government where people have the authority to elect their leaders. A republic is a system of government where the head of the nation is not a monarch. When you combine the two, you get a democratic republic. Now, how does the democratic republic protect people's rights and freedoms? Well, through a rule book called the Constitution. Think of it like a rule book of a sport. Only when every player abides by the rules can their rights and freedoms be protected, and we can have a fair game. In a democratic republic, the government and citizens are the players, and the Constitution is their rule book. The Constitution defines the powers of the government, the rights and freedoms of the citizens. Today, on the 26th of January in 1950, our Constitution came into force and India became a democratic republic. That is why we celebrate this day as Republic Day. Remember, this setup can survive only if it has well-educated, vigilant citizens who respect the ideals of our Constitution. Citizens with their eyes on the future, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action. Into that heaven of freedom, my father let my country awake.
Okay. So, makes sense. So, who do you think is the head of the nation in India? Let me ask you a trivia question. Who is the head of the nation? Mika, Sarthak, any of you? Do you know who is the head of the nation? What post, I mean? Yes, beta Mika, go ahead.
Prime Minister?
Head of the nation, no. So he's the post is equivalent to a monarch or a king or a queen, right? What post is that? It's not prime minister. Prime minister is head of the government, the elected head, right? He has all the powers to, lead. Okay, Ishna, my daughter is here. She wants. Yes, it's the president of India. Nobody knows president of India much because I mean everyone knows that. I mean, less people know, but president is a of India is the head of the country or head of the nation. Um, and the president is again an elected position. It's a elected position for 5 years for not directly elected by people, but kind of they are elected indirectly, right? So they are chosen by the people, the representatives of the people. So members of the lower and higher upper house of the parliament and the members of legislative assembly of each state, they all have a vote, like a weightage, and accordingly a president is chosen for 5 years. And the president is the head of the nation. So unlike in Britain, where the head of the nation is a king or a queen, right? It's a hereditary position. That's not the case with India, right? And that is what makes it a republic. A republic is that form of government where the head of the nation is is not a dynast, is not a king or queen, not a monarch, but a elected, person. Okay, the person could be male, female, depends, whatever, right? Whoever wins the vote, right, is the one at the top, right? So that's the form of government, republic. Democracy is where you choose your head of government is chosen, elected, directly or indirectly, right? So that's what it is. Now, like if somebody says, "Hey, is England a republic?" The answer is no. England is a monarchy. It's still a democratic country. It has elections. They do choose their parliament and they choose their prime minister, but their head of the nation is the queen or king, depending on the time, right? So they are a constitutional monarchy. On the contrary, India is a democracy, which is also a republic. है ना? Like same way, if you look at in United States, it's a republic because the head of the nation, which is president, is elected, and the head of government is also a president who is also elected, right? So it's kind of in the same power is vested in the same person. Yet, India and America both are republics, okay? But UK or Britain is not. है ना? So this is like interesting. I always find it fascinating. There are countries which are democratic, but they are not republics. And then there are countries which are republic, but they are not democratic. Things of that nature. So kind of interesting. You can check with on Chat GPT or wherever to find all the combinations, and you'll always be amazed with the different permutations and formats of governments. They look same, but they are not same. They have their own ways in constitutions, right? Indian constitution is perhaps one of the largest or biggest constitution in the world. America has a constitution, but it's not big enough. It's just one. It's very very thin that way. Some countries don't have a written constitution, yet they are law-abiding countries, right? Like UK. UK does not have a written constitution. You'll be surprised. It's still a law since Magna Carta days. It's kind of following a set of laws, but they don't have a book that they say, "Hey, this is our constitution." Indian constitution has everything. It has, what are the laws and how it covers both what and how. So that's why it's very big. Anyways, interesting topic for another day. So that's a pitch on Republic Day. Now let's come to the topic, a Jain topic for today, and that topic is Chaturvidha Sangh. Okay, before I start, any guesses on what does Chaturvidh Sang means? Now it's made up of, as I paused and spoke, it's kind of made up of three parts: Chatur, Vidh, and Sang. So three parts. With that, any guesses on what does it mean? What does it cover, or what are we talking about here? Okay, no worries. I will explain what it is. First and foremost, Sang, the last word. You know what is most important word? Sang is actually the loose English translation of Sang is a congregation or a group or a collective, right? A Sangh, in the olden times when India had a republics, like back when, back when in ancient India also there were republics, and those republics had a uh, not so elected, but sort of, body of equivalent to parliament or house of representative to today, and that was also called as a Sangh. Sangh is nothing but a congregation. Now, when we say Chatur Vidh Sangh, what we are talking about is we are talking about a congregation of our monks, right? So, first and foremost, when we talk about Jain people can broadly be classified into two categories, right? There are sadhus and then there are shravaks. Shravak matlab hum log, who are lay people, right? Who manage their day-to-day business. They do conduct their lives. They earn livelihoods. They study. They are in process of living a commoner's life, a common pious life. Of course, according to Jain principles, that's why we call them Jain Shravaks. English translation: layperson or householders. We all are layperson. The other category is monks or sadhus. है ना? So the sadhus as a congregation, as a collective, themselves can further be defined. Now, they can be classified in different ways, but one way of classifying them is the order of monks or the collective of monks or the congregation of the monks is divided into into four categories, and that is what Chaturvidh Sangh is all about. है ना? तो आज हम उसके बारे में पढ़ेंगे, उसके बारे में सुनेंगे. So let me start the video and then I'll keep explaining. But just remember, Chatur, four Chatur, right? Chatur is the Sanskrit for four, right? So Chaturvid means four type of four type or four parts of the Sangh. And in this case, Sangh we are talking about is the Sangh of monks or Sangh of sadhus. Make sense, Sarthak? Okay, let's keep going. Okay, we have Arush as well and Pratibha joined as well. So not Pratibha. Pratibha, that's not your name, right? That's your mom's name. What's your... Yeah. Praniti, yes. Thank you for changing the name. I was like, it starts with P, but I was royally confused when it said Pratibha. Okay. Thank you, Praniti. So let me play this one, okay?
Jai Jinendra. Have you ever visited Muni Maharaj or Arika Mataji? Do you know, whenever we visit...
Okay, how many of you have visited Muni Maharaj or Arika Mataji? Raise your hands if you have. I see Sarthak kind of raising his hand. Okay, yes. Any of you, other people, when you on your trip to India, have you ever seen or visited or taken some blessings from any Muni Maharaj or Mataji, monks or Jain sadhus? Ever? Praniti has. Good job. And Mihika too. How about you, Arush? Arush is checking with mom. Maybe, maybe not. Did we not? Okay, it's simple, right? Yes, of course. Yes, good to know. So all of you have. So anumodna to all of you that you had that blessing of visiting monks. I'm sure many you would have got an opportunity to give ahar dan to our Muni Maharaj also, which is such a immense blessing. We also make it a point to visit Muni Maharaj every time we go to India. Last time when we went, like in 2024, we visited Shikharji, Sammet Shikharji, and many other Tirth places. Like we covered eight states, and we had the opportunity of even doing darshan of Samay Sagarji, Acharya Samay Sagarji and his Sangh in Kundalpur. Just before he was leaving, Kundalpur for his doing his vihar for Chaturmas to Khajuraho. So it was an amazing experience. My kids, everyone, we have grand memories of that visit. And of course, Praman Sagarji, Muni Praman Sagarji, we had the blessing of giving him ahar in 2017 in Udaipur, my hometown. Right. So, yes, I mean, visiting Muni Maharaj and Sangh is such an immense blessing. You all would have accrued amazing positive karma, punya karma, because of that particular experience. And always make it a point, right? Whenever you are in India and you get an opportunity to visit a Muni Maharaj, do their darshan, sit there, take their blessings, announce yourself that you have come from United States. They'll be obviously, happy, and they will share amazing things with you that will be guiding force for you in your life and all the situations that you will come across, good or bad, right? So we should always look for light, and we find light when we visit our monks. So monks, as an order, as the congregation, they are divided into 4 parts, and that's what we learn about. Okay.
Pay our obeisance and bow down to them, we get positive energy from them. So let me tell you some interesting facts about this today. A group of Jain saints is called Sangha or Chaturvida Sangha, as there are 4 categories of saints in it. So let's pay our respect first to Muni Maharaji. Muni Maharajis are always Digambar, which means directions are their only clothes. The only
So do you know, right, what's the meaning of Digambar? How many of you know what denomination of Jainism we all follow? It's Digambar, right? We all follow a tradition, the original, stricter tradition of Jainism that was set up by Mahavir Bhagwan of that of Digambar Munis, right? The Digambar tradition. Now, in Digambar, what does Digambar tradition, or Digambar Sangh, what does the word Digambar means? Any of you? Do you know what does Digambar means? Very important word, right? Because that defines what particular denomination of Jainism we follow. So we all should know what Digambar means. It's actually a word made up of, it's like any other word in Indian language. It has a deeper meaning, right? Digambar. So as per Indian tradition, there are 10 directions. है ना? 10 डायरेक्शंस में क्या होता है? 8 डायरेक्शंस तो जो कार्डिनल डायरेक्शंस होते हैं वो होते हैं, राइट? नॉर्थ ईस्ट वेस्ट साउथ, एंड देन the 4 in between. So north east, northwest, southeast, southwest. So total 8. And then the top, up and down, 2 more. So total 10 directions. है ना? Dig is a representation of the 10 directions. Ambar means cloth. So, Digambar means those for whom the 10 directions are their clothes. That's their clothes, right? That's what the word meaning Digambar stands for. Dig plus Ambar. Aapko yaad rahega, Mika, what Digambar stands for? Praniti? Right? That's what it stands for. Now, the loose English translation of it is sky-clad monks. We don't say naked monks. We say sky-clad monks. Monks for whom sky is their cloth. That's what they are. They are Digambar monks. So all our male monks, who have taken the higher vow of higher Mahavrats, they are Digambar. They are sky-clad. They don't wear any cloth. In other words, they don't have parigraha even of clothes. Why they don't wear clothes? Because clothes, in that sense, is a possession, right? I have 1 cloth, I have this jacket, I have 3 more in my closet, and I'm always worried about them. One will rip, it will go out of fashion, this, that, everything. It's kind of drives me towards materialistic things and, attaches me to them. And at times, because of that attachment, I get bad or good emotions. I'm not able to focus. To avoid such situations where it becomes delusional, Muni Maharaj do not even take the possession, the parigraha of even clothes. That's why they are sky-clad. That's why they are Digambar. Being Digambar is highest order of tap. Think of a situation, the temperature that you guys are living in. Think of a situation, what's the temperature outside? Our Muni Maharaj would would sustain their life even in that temperature without clothes, without wearing anything. And believe me, I've seen monks. I was telling my wife this morning, I was a young kid of probably second grade, third grade, and I was, my school was early, so I had to take bath with hot water, of course, and go to school at like be ready by 6:30, leave by 7:30. We had to be school. And during that winter in Udaipur, it was a very harsh winter. I was wearing a blazer and a trouser made up of woolen cloth and whatnot. And I went to do darshan of at the temple, and there was a sangh of Muni at that temple. 6:15 or 6:30 in the morning, I had to go and do a darshan of them. And you know what I found? They were in this small room. Uh, and of course they are naked, they are sky clad, they are digambar, they don't wear clothes. Not just that, they sleep on twigs like dry grass. They don't even use a comforter, or of course, forget about ACs, right? There were no ACs back then. I mean, there were ACs, but obviously our munis don't use ACs. That's how they used to live. 6:30 in the morning, temperature around maybe -1-ish. I was, in my cozy jacket with a sweater underneath it, 3-4 layers, a big topa and gloves on my hand, and I felt so ashamed, by looking at them. I was like almost being a kid, but still sort of in tears looking at them, and just being humbled with their tap, their power, their willpower to sustain their body in spite of such harsh temperature. And now recently I saw some Muni, he went to Himalayas while it was snowing, right? So being a Digambar is a feeling of we should be proud of following such tradition. There is nothing to be ashamed about it, right? This is something which demands very strong willpower, very strong tap. It's not a job of weak-hearted, right? Only people who have strong heart and strong mind can do this, can take that vow and live that kind of very disciplined life. Okay, so let me keep playing this.
Belongings they have are Pichi, that is peacock feather broom, Kamandal, that is water pot, and Shastraji, that is religious books. Do you know what's the purpose of these things and how are they made? Pichi is made up of softest peacock feathers. When the peacock sheds its feathers, they are collected and arranged to form a broom. Before sitting anywhere, Muni Maharajis gently brush the floor with Pichi so that the tiny little organisms get gently brushed away and they don't get harmed when they sit there. They are compassionate towards all living beings and organisms. They use the water from.
So Pichi, you understood right now. Pichi is never made from. It's made up of peacock feathers, because peacock feathers are, through experience and experimentations, our acharyas found it that more punky pichis are the most soft to microorgan or tiny organisms, right? That's why it is used. So when you broom a ant or a small other type of bugs, they don't get killed if you are using a peachy, a more punky peachy. More punky means peacock feather peachy. But these peacock, how do these peacock feathers are derived is also very important. Peacock has like many other animals you would know, who shed their skin or their feathers before they get grow new one, right? Like snake also shed their skin. There are other, even for that matter, recently I got to know even scorpion does that, which is scary, but I got to know. Okay. And then of course a peacock does the same thing. And like even human beings, right? We always have hair fall through our body, and then we grow new hair, right? So same process. Even peacock does shed their feathers, and those feathers are actually collected, and they are bound into what is a pichika, right? The one in this representation of Muni Maharaj, you see that pichi there, right? That's what they carry always. So they only have three. So as I said, they don't even have possession of clothes, right? The the only three things that they carry are this pichi, a kamandal, which is a water pot, and books, the Shastra, not any other book, but जैन बुक्स और आगम, है ना? सिर्फ यही उनके पास में रहता है, और ये भी दे कीप इट ऑन अ साइक्लिक बेसिस. दे कीप, they don't get too attached with them. Every year they change their pitches, and every few in a particular frequency their commandals are also kind of rotated out, so there is no possession as such. They just keep doing it. Okay. It's not like they carry iPads. It's not like they carry so many other gadgetry. They don't do that, right? Because anything of that kind will lead them into away from their path of meditation and tap, and that's why they do that. Make sense, Mika? है ना? सो पीछी क्या होती है, पीछिका कैसे बनती है, हम सबको पता होना चाहिए, राइट प्रणीति, आरुष, है ना? Okay. So people sometimes argue, oh, if it's made up of peacock feather, that means there is some violence in it. No, sir. There are no peacock killed. There is no scope of hunting and gaming there. The way it's procured is when a peacock shed the feathers, those feathers are collected and they are bound into a pichi. Okay?
From Kamandal to clean their hands and feet. All of you go to the salon for the haircut, right? Do you know Muni Maharajis never use scissors for haircut? They rather pluck their own hair strand by strand.
Have you ever seen Muni Maharaj doing in the act of kesh launch or plucking their hairs? Have you ever seen that? Anyone? Oh, Sarthak is nodding. Probably you have. Can you do it, Sarthak? No, try it. Should be simple, right? Like just, right? That's how Muni Maharaj. And when I say Muni Maharaj, not just male Muni Maharaj, even the Arika Mataji, they all pluck their hair. That is also a mark of their non-possession and their feeling of no attachment, aka detachment towards even their body. That's an expression of that, right? People are so careful and so attached to their hairs, right? I mean, especially males, females, of course, but males, once they reach a particular age and the balding process starts, everyone I'm losing hairs, they try to do so many things to keep their hairs intact. What that tells us is probably in our body, humans are very much fascinated about their hairs. If their hair grows gray, they'll start putting dye and whatnot, right, to hide all their age and whatnot, because they think that it makes them look good, right? So that one body thing which people are so attached to, even that thing, your hairs are not a item of attachment to our Muni Maharaj. And how do they express it? Every third month or so, they actually pluck their hairs. They pluck their hairs just by application of rakh or ash. They just only thing they use is a ash, and that's what they use as an antiseptic. And at times I've seen, when they do it, they have little bit of blood that also oozes out. So it's the amazing thing about this is, and Sarthak, you would have noticed that when they are doing it, they are in ultimate state of equanimity. There is no expression of pain or sorrow or tears in their eyes. They do it with equanimity. They do it with samta. है ना? So that is how difficult the path is, and yet they are following it. And that's why we all should be proud of our tradition, our Muni Maharaj and the Sangh. We should have ultimate vinay and respect towards them. Because it's not something for weak heart people. As I mentioned earlier. Okay, so let me keep going.
Strand themselves, which is known as Keshloch. Okay, tell me, how many times do they eat food and how many times do they drink water? Do you know they eat only once a day? That too without any utensils.
This is Ahar
They take
Charya.
food in their hands only. Also,
आपने
they
देखा
drink
होगा,
water
राइट?
only.
देखो ऐसे खाना खाते हैं ये प्रमाण सागर जी मुनि महाराज है ना. देखो how he is eating. He's standing. First and foremost, he's standing. He's not even sitting, because sitting means comfort. He's standing. How is he? Where is his plate? Why is he not eating in the plate? That again is a mark of self-restraint, right? They are only eating what they can have have in their palms, and they are eating with their hand, right? There is no plate there. Is it like we can't afford good plates and golden utensils of gold or silver for them? Of course we all can. There are enough rich people in our tradition who can do that. But yet when it comes to the food of Muni Maharaj will never accept food even if it is served in the plate of gold or silver, right? Why? Just because of that. That's their mark of self-restraint. है ना?
Once while taking ahar, meaning having food. Isn't it
Even
amazing and
liquid. Look at
unbelievable?
that. Even the liquid
They
is
never sleep on soft mattresses like we do. Instead, they sleep on wooden board or on the floor. For traveling from one city to another, they never use aeroplane, car, train or any kind of vehicles. They always walk from one place to another bare feet, keeping their eyes on the road within a range of 4 feet to ensure they don't step on any organism, even by mistake. They never walk on grass as it is an ekindriya jeev, and there are hidden organisms in it which would be hurt when walked upon. Do you know that many tiny living beings die when we take bath? So to protect them, Muni Maharajis never take bath. They tolerate all kinds of weather without any complaints, be it summers, winters or rains. This is called Samata Bhav. Maharajis are always engrossed in self-soul and spend their time reading religious books, that is Shastraji, analyzing and understanding them and doing meditation. They also give religious discourse for our welfare and well-being. Whenever Muni Maharaj come to our city, you should always visit them, pay your respect to them and listen to their religious preachings and offer ahar dan, meaning food, and learn good things from them, so that one day you also become like them. You will visit them, won't you? Okay, tell me, how will you greet Muni Maharaji? We must fold our hands in pranam mudra and say namostu. Now next, let's pay our...
So what is the word that we have to use when we bow down to Muni Maharaj? That is the male Munis in a Sangh. What is the word that we use? What is the word? Yes, Mihika.
Namaste.
Namostu. And we do that 3 times. Hai na? So we don't say namaste, we don't say hello, of course. We don't say hi, we don't say ciao, we don't say anything. We say namostu. What do we say? Namostu. Now, again, it's like this, it's like old times. Probably I would not have to explain this to you, because in those times, like when you go to a king, you do a different type of bow. When you go to a knight, you do a different type of bow, and so and so forth. That was the order of the time. That is not the case now. But when you are with monks, with sadhus, male sadhus, who are heading a congregation, right, leading a congregation rather, the word we use for them, the sky-clad sadhus who have given up all their clothes, the word we use for them is namostu. What's the word? Namostu. ठीक है ना, याद रखना है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। कई बार क्या होता है ना, स्पेशली पीपल हु गो फ्रॉम अमेरिका, दे मेक दिस मिस्टेक एंड अदर पीपल स्टार्ट करेक्टिंग देम, है ना। So if you will go somewhere next time to a Muni Maharaj and do Namostu 3 times by bowing down, guess what? People will be like, oh, this person, Meka, this Sarthak, they are from United States or Canada or wherever, and they know how to do Namostu. They know they can uh, distinguish between the 4 different types of monks in a Chaturvid Sangh, and they are able to greet them according to their stature in the Sangh, right? Because for every type of the 4, there is a different word. We say Namostu to the Muni Maharaj or the Digambar Munis, है ना? But then before a Muni takes Digambar Diksha, they are in a different order. They wear one single cloth or they keep 2 clothes likewise, and that is the differentiation. We'll get to that in a bit. Okay, so Namostu is only there for the sky-clad Digambar monks. Remember, okay?
Respect to Arika Mataji. Arika Mataji too has Pichi
So Arika Mataji are the female members of a Chaturvid Sangh, and being a female, they are allowed to wear one cloth, a single unstitched sari, a white sari, no other color, just white sari. Uh, they are uh, they are also part of Digambar Sangh, Chaturvid Sangh. However, being a female, they have to practice their modesty, because we are living in times where it is very important for women to maintain their modesty, right? And a cloth is a very important part of it. That's why female monks are allowed to keep, although they are also on path of renunciation, yet they wear one cloth, one white sari, which is unstitched. है ना? Now, Arika, what is the word for them? Arika Mataji, है ना? So in a Sangh, they also carry a pichi, they also keep a kamandal. There are a few other, rules around them, like they can take their food sitting. They don't eat their food standing, things of that. So there are some relaxations for for women members of the order, considering that they are women, and in the societies that we live in, it's very important to maintain modesty around people. Make sense? है ना? That's why wearing sari and being always well covered is important, because it keeps your modesty intact and establishes a woman as a woman of higher stature, right? Women which are showing off are not considered of higher stature in the societies, in the right traditions. Okay?
and Kamandal. They wear white sari and eat food once a day poured on their hands while being seated on a wooden plank. They do keshloch, meaning plucking of the
Look.
hair with their hands.
Look at the age of the Mataji just shown here, Arika Mataji just shown here. She must be close to 95. She's still there, and she must be close to 95 or 100. I don't, somewhere in that range. Yet she practices it. She wants her hairs to be plugged, because that is a very important practice for a Jain, Digambar Jain monk, the hair kinch launch. So even at that age, with such age being not on her side, yet whenever she is in with her senses, she want to follow her intense practices with the same degree of respect and discipline. Okay. And as you can see, right, they are also walking barefoot. They also nobody wears any shoes or chappals or whatever. And look at them, how they have dressed up, right? They are covered properly. Also, they pluck their hair, so they are bald, right? So for a women, being bald is a big thing, right? And they keep their heads always shaven off. Like they also do their kench launch at a particular frequency. And you would notice they also carry the pichi, है ना? So they also carry the pichi and kamandal.
Bare feet. They sleep on the floor or on a bamboo mat And just like Muni Maharaji, they also follow abstinence, tolerance, and calmness to purify their soul without any expectations. We must visit them to pay our obeisance and listen to their religious preachings. Okay, tell me, how do you pay respect to Arika Mataji? We must
Okay, what's the word for Mataji? So for Muni Maharaj, for Digambar Muni, what is the word? Mehika?
Namostu.
Very good. So what is now the word for Mataji? Who knows? Okay, I'll tell you. It's Vandami. What's the word? Vandami. Okay.
fold our hands in Pranam Mudra and say Vandami.
Again, we say
Now
it how
let's
many times? 3 times. Hai na? Whenever we are doing that, Vandami. Remember, I told you for different members of the Sangh, for there are 4 types. There, each one has a different salutation or different way of paying the respect. Hai na? To one, we say Namostu. बट टू माता जी वी से वंदामी है ना अभी किसी माता जी को जाके नमोस्तु बोल दिया तो हंसी उड़ जाएगी है ना so that's why we have to remember this right in olden times it was everyone used to understand it well अभी तो क्या होता है प्रेसिडेंट को भी जाके you can say hello president or namaste president right that's not the case now but in the old times with kings if you do that you may be thrown in a prison kind of thing if you do hey hi prince how are you okay please throw him into the prison for 5 days kind of thing but we are not living in those times now and good that we are not hai na? But with our Sangh, we should show more respect, and that's why these words are important. Okay?
pay our respect to Elakji Maharaj. Prior to becoming a Digambar Muni, one has to be ordained as Elakji or Chullakji. Elak Maharaji wear just one piece of cloth, that is langot or loin cloth. They eat food given on their hands while being seated. They too have Pichi Kamandal and they practice Keshloj. While paying respect to Elak Maharaji, we must fold our hands in Pranam Mudra and say Ichhami.
What's the word here for Elak Maharaj? Sarthak, what's the word for Elak Maharaj ji?
Chami.
Ichhami, hai na? So, on how do we recognize Elak Maharaj ji? Elak Maharaj ji only wears one loin cloth or a langot of white color, as you can see here. They are not yet ordained or not yet, Dikshit as a Digambar Muni, but they are one step closer. है ना? Once their Diksha happens, they will give up even this loin cloth. Right? So this is, think of it, right? They have to study a lot. It's not like, you just can become one day decide and become a Shullak and another day you will turn into a Ellak and third day into a monk, into a sadhu. It doesn't work that way. They have to do a lot of studies, Shastras, Adhyan, Swadhyay, and lot of penance, lot of practice, lot of tap. Once their guru finds out that they are ready, only then they are ordained into the highest order of a sky-clad Digambar monk. And until their qualities are fully understood and assessed by the head of the Sangh, that is Acharya, they are not given that Diksha. They are not ordained into a sky-clad monk. And so there are so many of Chaturvat Sangh members who stay as a Ellak or a Shullak through their life, through their Dikshit life, right? So while their goal is to become a Digambar Muni, but if they, for whatever reason, if it is established that, they don't yet have that capacity and willpower to attain that particular state, or for some health reasons also, they are not ordained into a Digambar monk, right? So it's a path of hardships. It's a path of extreme discipline, self-restraint, and tap. है ना? So that's why there is an exam at every level before they are moved to the next class. है ना? Anyways, the topic for ellak, ellak means एक से ellak, एक मतलब वन होता है, right? You all know, must know, right? So एक से ellak, इसको ऐसे याद रखो, एक who only have one cloth, those are the ellaks, है ना? And the salutation for them is ichhami. Okay, like here they also do kench launch, they also do carry a pichi and kamandal. However, they have one loin cloth, so they are not yet higher in the sense of they still have a little bit more possession than a digambar, a sky-clad monk, and that's why their stature in the sung is a little bit lower than that of monk. But from our vantage point, Shravaks, they have to be shown the required respect. है ना? Okay, let's keep moving. Any questions so far, Arush? Okay, good. Okay, so 3 words so far, है ना? नमोस्तु, वंदामी और इच्छामी. ठीक है, बहुत जरूरी है ये, है ना? मेरे को तो मैं बहुत बड़ा हो गया तब तक भी नहीं पता था. आई वॉज यंग एंड आई यूज्ड टू डू इच्छामी टू ए most of them I used to do namostu only. You become people laugh at you, but that's okay.
Now let's understand about Chullak Maharaji and Chullika Mataji. Chullak Ji Maharaj wear a langot and a dupatta, that is 2 pieces of cloth, and Chullika Mataji wear white dupatta and a white sari. They both sit and have food only once a day, only in their patra, meaning utensil. They also carry pechi and kamandal, and they can do either keshloj by their hands or can use scissors to cut their hair. We must say Ichhami in Pranam Mudra to them too, to offer our respect to them. But why Muni Maharaj ji, Arika Mata ji, Elak ji, Chullak ji follow such a tough lifestyle? What do they gain from it? Muni Maharaj ji practice Samata Bhav, meaning patience.
So Shullak Maharaj samajh aa gaya na? Shullak and Shullika. So you saw that, right? So Shullak Maharaj have 2 clothes. One is their lion cloth, their langot, and then there is a cloth they carry on. What do they call it? Ek minute, Hindi mein, I am forgetting the word.
To them. But why Muni Maharaj ji can use scissors to cut their hair? Both sit and have food only once a day.
Wait a second.
Chullak Ji Maharaj wear a langot and a dupatta.
Dupatta, yes, that's the word I was missing. Sorry for that. Dupatta, hai na? So they have a dupatta and a lion cloth. And same way, Shullika Mataji have a sari, unstitched sari, and a dupatta. Okay, a white dupatta. That's what they carry. And that's how you also identify them. Okay, Shullak Ji has 2 clothes. Ellak Ji has 1 cloth. They also carry Pichi Kamandal, all of them. Muni Maharaj, when I say Muni Maharaj, that of course includes Acharya also. Acharya is the head of the congregation. Hai na? So Acharya are also Munis only, right? So they are the head of they are the captain of the team. Hai na? So they all are sky-clad. They also carry Pichi Kamandal. Now, one other thing about Shullak Ji is, Shullak Ji can carry utensil. They have their own fixed utensils. They don't eat in hand. They have utensils. Hai na? They eat while sitting. They have some relaxation when it comes to how they take care of their hairs. Many of them want to take kench launch, so they are allowed to do that. But then others are still not have gathered that willpower, so they are okay to use scissor until they get to that particular state of mind where they are okay to do kench launch. And then one point in time, once they have reached their met all the preconditions, they are elevated into an ellak. So first it becomes a Vrati Shravak. Vrati Shravak are those Shravaks that follow what do you call it? They Vrati Shravaks have they follow some vows, right? Fixed vows. There are about 11 Pratima Dharis. They are called together as Vrati Shravaks. The 11th one is like sort of Ellak Shullak. And then Ellak, then comes Shullak. Shullak ke baad Ellak. Ellak ke baad, if it's male, then they become Muni. If female, तो उनके लिए होता है शुल्लिका से सीधे वो फिर आरिका माता जी बन जाते हैं. ठीक है ना? सो ये प्रोसेस है. बट इस प्रोसेस में ऐसा होता है They at every point they have to give exam. And this is exam, not just theory, it's theory and practical. Your body is your laboratory, है ना? Your mind is your laboratory. In that mind and body, they continuously do experimentation under the watchful eyes of their acharya, their Sangh leaders. And then they are promoted. When they meet all the conditions, when the checklist is met, that's when they are promoted, elevated to the next level. है ना? So it's not, ऐसा नहीं है कि अरे कोई वो बच्चे होते हैं ना, अच्छा मैं पढ़ाई नहीं करना चाहता हूँ तो मैं मुनि महाराज बन जाता हूँ, ऐसा नहीं होता, वहां और पढ़ाई करनी पड़ती है, and you have to do experiment with your body every time, है ना? Meditation is an experiment. Jainism is all about experimentation. It's all about applying the theory into practical. Right? And this is the path for the attaining moksha. There is no other path. Okay, let me keep going. Oops, sorry. And here we were here, right?
Ichhami. Now they can do either keshloj by their hands or can use scissors to cut their hair. We must say Ichhami in Pranam Mudra to them too, to offer our respect to them. But why Muni Maharaj ji, Arika Mata ji, Elak ji, Chulak ji follow such a tough lifestyle? What do they gain from it? Muni Maharaj ji practiced Samata Bhav, meaning patience, at all times and in all walks of life. In every situation, be it good or bad, they do not feel happy or sad. They keep their mind calm. This is called practicing Samata. By practicing Samata Bhav, they slowly destroy their bad karmas and gradually their soul becomes getting purified. So all of us will respect Muni Maharaj ji, Arika Mata ji, Elak ji, Chulak ji, Chulika ji, so that we too become pure and peaceful like them one day. We will, right? Jai Jinendra.
Okay, beta. Any question on this topic of Chaturvid Sangh? Remember, 4, right? We covered 4. Muni Maharaj, who are sky-clad Digambar Muni, right? They are considered as Muni, no other person. They have to be in Digambar Mudra. That's whom we call as Muni, right? Then comes the Arika Mataji, the female members of the Chaturvid Sangh, who wear the white cloth, and the salutation we use for them is Vandami. ठीक है ना? Third are the Ellaks, A1, who wear only one cloth, and that is the lion cloth that they wear, right? The langot, right? They are called as Ellak, and the salutation for them is Ichhami. And then the fourth one are Shullak, right? And the word for the salutation for them is Ichhami, right? And they wear 2 clothes. Shullaks have 2 clothes. Shullak or Shullika, 2 clothes. ठीक है? क्लियर रहेगा ये? तो जब आप नेक्स्ट टाइम अब इंडिया जाते हो और कोई मुनि संघ से के दर्शन का आपको सौभाग्य मिलता है, आपको उसका इफ यू गेट दी ब्लेसिंग ऑफ doing darshan of a muni sangh, think about it, right? Who are you meeting, right? कौन है वो? शुल्लक हैं, इल्लक हैं, आरिका हैं, शुल्लिका हैं या मुनि महाराज है ना? और how would you identify? You don't have to ask. By their acharan, their conduct is the biggest expression of who they are, right? And that's how you find who they are. Make sense? तो नेक्स्ट टाइम जब भी आप उधर इंडिया जाओगे ना, तो इस चीज को जरूर से ध्यान रखना. ओके, एनी क्वेश्चंस बेटा? एंड रिमेंबर, हु आर वी? यस, वन मोर थिंग. दिगंबर, राइट? द मीनिंग ऑफ द वर्ड दिगंबर, dig plus ambar. 4 digambars are those muni who for whom their clothes are these 10 directions, है ना? Dig ambar. Ambar means cloth. Dig means the 10 directions. Make sense? Okay. That's about it. That's all what we wanted to cover today. Arush, Sarthak, Mihika, Praniti, any questions? Okay. I will take that as a no. So we don't have any question. If not, we can probably end the session with Jinwani Stuti. Okay? So let's recite Jinwani Stuti. जावाणी के ज्ञान से सूझे लोकालोक, तेवाणी मस्तक धरूं सदा देहूं धोक। हे जिनवाणी भारती माँ, तोहे जपूं दिन रैन, जो तेरी शरण आ गए माँ, सो पावे सुख चैन। उत्तम क्षमा बच्चों। जय जिनेन्द्र। I'll see you in the next class next week. Okay? जय जिनेन्द्र।
And